Hi, Ömer here. I want to show you today how to build a world map in Mendix and visualize any data you want by country. I extracted the LinkedIn connections I have and I used their location to visualize where my LinkedIn connections are coming from and in which country they are mainly located at. And how that looks like is here. I have here my connection list from LinkedIn, imported it, and I have here the name of the LinkedIn contact and the country where that person is coming from. And when I go to countries, I have also here some countries as a list. And the end product we want to do at the end is a world map. And this looks like this. The connections, what you just saw, is now visualized here in a map. So for example, I can see that in Germany I have the highest amount of connections, which is 251. And here in Netherlands is 169, also very nice. And here different like locations, for example, United States just 1, Colombia 2, interesting, Brazil 10. So when I click on here, for example, then I will see my contacts from that country, connections from Brazil here, for example, and then I can see their names. That's pretty much it, and I would say let's get started immediately. Hi, so we have the project world map open here in Studio Pro 10.6.1, and what we have is the LinkedIn module here with the domain model, country as an entity, connection as an entity, and with a one-to-many relationship. And we have the overview pages, and all of that is that what we see here. My connection list on a data grid too, and then also here my country list. And that's what we want to visualize in a world map. And for that, what we're gonna do is we go to main. I have here my main module. I have here the home page, which is empty right now. And I'm gonna create a new page. I'm gonna call it world map view. I'm gonna take a blank template, add this default, okay. And then click here. And now I want to put my AnyChart widget in here. For that, you can go to the marketplace. I have it already here, AnyChart, search for it, and then you will find it here. And then you can download. I have it already in my toolbox. When I go in here on a page, it will appear. If I put it in here, the first thing, what we're gonna see is an error message. This widget needs to be in a data container, for example, a data view or list view. I'm gonna select a data view to get rid of that thing for now. Toolbox, data view, click in here, drag and drop it in here. This data view, I will give it an entity. I need an entity here. So what I do is I go in here, create an entity. I will call it chart helper. I will make it non-persistible. Okay. And then that page, whichever it will open this one, should also then give me the chart helper as a parameter. I click on no, okay, the error is gone. So I have this one now. And then I go to the AnyChart widget. I have here different tabs, data, layout options, configuration options, and so on. What is in our interest is the data now. We want to basically visualize our data. For that, when we go on Plotly, I think I have it here somewhere. We have here a library which we can check to see how to use it. So I will go on maps. I will go on this one, maps here. And then I have here, for example, an example of a world map I want to use. I can see here how this is done. There's a CSV file which is imported. That CSV file is also used then in the variable data configuration. For example, here in locations, it's unpacked. And then I have also some layout and then the plotting itself. For me, the interesting part is the data part. So I will copy this one here. I will copy that and put it here in this data static part as well. So what I need to do is I have to make this in a JSON structure. So give me a second and I have to basically do double quotes. I'm back in a second. Now I did that in double quotes, and what I want to do is here, this is read by the CSV in that example code. I'm gonna make my own locations. I'm gonna do Germany. I'm gonna do Netherlands here as a list. Then the Z is basically what I want to put as the amount of connections I have. For example, let's say 10 and let's say 5, and then 6, and then close this here. And then the text, I will just do the same as locations. Cut it here and then paste it here. And then let's first see if that thing is working. We'll click on OK. And then we have to put that thing in the navigation, that page. So let's make a new item. Let's call it world map. Let's take an icon here, a globe, for example. So what I have to do is I have to create an object. I have to create a chart helper, and then with that chart helper, I will then open the world map. I will click here on OK. I will say run, save and continue. And then let's see if we get already the world map rendered. Perfect, amp is running. Let's go in here. Let's run this, look at the world map, and doesn't look good actually. Why is that? Let's check. Type, country names, Germany, autoscaler. So what did we wrong? Oh yeah, okay. Needed to be in a list. So let's quickly go and correct this one. So this one here needs to be in a list like this, and then like this. Okay. So that's the thing about programming. Try and test. Okay, and there we go. We have Germany 10, Netherlands 6. Perfect. But now what I want is I want to have my countries from here, and I want to have my connections from here shown in this one. So what I'm going to do is now I have this any chart. So this was the static content, but here for my dynamic content I can use a JSON array, and for that I can use a source attribute. So I have my chart helper. What I'm going to do is, so this thing is called data. So I'm going to go to my domain model. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to call this data JSON. I'm going to make it unlimited, okay? And now my goal is that I can, from my entities, from my domain model, country and connection, I create the JSON which is needed to fill in, to create this JSON we just had as static, but just with the correct values. So our first goal is to get the data JSON. So what I would do is I would first go in here. I would create a nanoflow, for example. I would say submicroflow, and I would call it data JSON get. So to get my data JSON, what I have to do is I have to first make my, so let me go in here, this JSON here, I have to somehow create an export mapping for that. So for that export mapping, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the JSON structure first. I'm going to say JSON, and then how can I call it? For example, chart, I can call it. And then I put that in here. I make refresh, and this is basically what is expected from me. But I want to export, and then I go and add and say export mapping. Where are you? Here, export mapping chart. And then I say okay. So what does that mean? This chart is based on this JSON structure, which I select here all. It will get entities, which we'll define shortly, and then it will create the JSON out of it. I will just click here on map automatically. When I go to the main models, you will see that I only have the chart helper here. But as soon as I go in here and say map automatically, it will create these non-persistable entities for me, and those ones are here. So now what I will do is I will quickly clean up this domain model, and then I'm back shortly. Okay, now we're done with cleaning up. So what I have here is I have a root, I have a JSON object with a type, location, mode, and autoscale boolean. Then I have the Z item list, then the location part, and then the text part. And what I now have to do is I have to create this whole entities, then turn that into a JSON string, and then with that I can display it on my world map, on my AnyChart widget. So what I'm gonna first do is this data.json get. What I need is this entities. I have to create this entities. So I'm gonna go in here and be like, okay, let's start with creating my first one, and create object and create the root. Okay, and actually the new thing here is following: create location. No, JSON object we can first create, then create what was it else? The Z object we can create. We can create the text object. We can create the, what else was existing? Text set and location object, and then we have that one. So let's move this all a little closer. Then what I'm going to do is I will connect those objects, so the JSON object with the root here. So new root, zack, zack, zack. Then that Z I'm gonna put here with the JSON object. Oops, JSON, oh, an error. JSON object, let me copy this, okay. And I don't want to commit here anything. The text one here, okay. Then the location, also no. So then I have the location with that. Oops, location. Oh, that's the wrong one. Not the location, but I have to create the locations. And then here JSON object, okay, okay. And now what I basically did is, so let me close all but this, save, and let me open the domain model, let me put that next to it. So what I did is I created this root that's here, then I created the JSON object, connected that one, so with this one. Then what I also did is in the next ones I created the Z, the locations, and the text, and connected it all with the JSON object. And now what's important is basically this text items, location items, objects, and the Z item objects. So for that, what I want to do is, so I need the list of my countries. So here I have the whole root, and what I'm now gonna do is I'm gonna retrieve country list, but I'm actually not gonna retrieve it. I will just expect it as a parameter. I would say this nanoflow, it is, yes, will get a list of countries, a country list, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna iterate over that country list. Did that here work? No. Let me do that again. Here, okay. Then for each country, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a location object. Then I'm gonna create a Z item. Wait, that I do at the end. I will first create a text item object, and then I'm gonna retrieve the list of connections, a list of connections from the country, iterator country. Then I'm gonna aggregate that one, and then I'm gonna create a Z item object, and that Z item object, I think that's pretty much it. So and when I did that, so here this one I have to rename to locations, so I can name that to location. That location is gonna have a value. That value is gonna be my iterator country name. I copy that, then I have to connect this one to my location locations entity object. Okay, I did that. Then I do the same with the text item. Here also the country name, no commit. then the text, here we go, text, bam, okay, that's done too. Then I get the connection list. I will then take that connection list. I can even number of connections, for example, can rename this, can go to my Z item, no commit. The value is then the number of connections, perfect. And then I'm also connected to my Z item, oh, not this one, Z, okay, done. And then when I did this, let me see, I created from my countries the items, right, these lists. Let me go to the world map, let me check here. Basically I created this text list, that Z list, and the location list in the loop. And now what I'm gonna do is this chart has this data JSON, which is now gonna have all the data. And when I go back in this one, so what do I see? What did I do so far? I created the whole structure and from my country list. And what I want to do is now I want to get the JSON, the data JSON. And for what I can do in here is I can create a sub macro flow. Does it work like that? Sub macro flow, no. Macro flow call, and then I can call here a micro flow. I will call it, oh okay, just did this. I will call this one sub, then how can I call it? It will data JSON generate, for example. And then what I can do is I can just take this export to JSON. This is expecting a root. So I'm gonna put here then parameter root, here this one, okay. I take that root, parameter string variable, I call this data JSON, okay. And then I'm gonna set that as a return value. Okay, done. And then I go in here, have my new root, I have here my data JSON, okay. And then I can also set that as a return variable, okay. And then what I can do is I go in here and create a nano flow, and I call it ACT chart create, for example. I can call it like this. And then what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna create my chart object, my chart helper object. True, that was the chart helper. Chart helper. Okay, I'm gonna create this. And this one is gonna get here the data JSON. So for that I need my countries. Now I'm gonna go here and retrieve a list of countries. I will send that to get my data JSON. That's gonna be in here. Then put it in here. Then I create this chart helper, and in that I will store this data JSON, okay. And this can then open the world map, which is then expecting my chart helper, okay. That's nice. And then let's see if we can actually also do here some adjustments, but I think what we could do is here we could extract this and call it root get maybe, and then have that extracted and have here those two, perfect. And then I will create here folders. I will first have a chart helper folder. I'm gonna have a root folder, and then I'm gonna put this root in here, the chart helper in here, the export mapping chart in here. Maybe I call this also chart helper, then JSON chart helper. Oh, actually, it's not the chart helper, this one. This is the chart itself. Can remove, okay. Then the data JSON, I will just put it in here as well. And then I put you like nano flows. Then I take this to nano flows, put it in here. And I say add folder micro flows. And then I put that in here. And then I say another folder structures and mappings. And then I put that in here. And then the root here, let's make a folder nano flows and put that in here. And then the world map, we can actually put that also in here and call it here pages and put that here. Okay, so we have that now, and let's test if that is all gonna work. Perfect. So let's run this. Go to the world map and I forgot a part, I guess. So let me go back. Chart helper, microflows, data J. Here, chart helper. Ah, yeah. But I of course forget is that this one, I have to change this to call a nano flow. I go to the main chart helper, nano flows. Yeah, here this one. Okay, and rerun this. Okay, let's go and check. This is gonna be working this time. Let's reload world map and no way. What happened? Locations, text. Oh yeah, I forgot the other part. Yeah, happens. So where are we again? The root. Here, this one here in the JSON object. What I forgot is the type. So where do I have that again? Here, this one. This one I have to put. Oops, no. So this. Then the location mode was country names. And then auto color scale true. Okay. And now, so let's go. Perfect. So now I see here my contacts in Germany, Netherlands, Turkey, India, Pakistan, UAE, and so on, Colombia. And now what we want to do is when we click on one of those countries, that we want to see who our contacts are from that country. So let's go and do that part. So I will close this all here. I will go here. I will clear a little bit. So now we want to have the connections we're going to open. So what I'm going to first start with is I'm going to create a page. I'm blank. I will call it connections filtered by country pop-up, and I will make it to a pop-up layout here. Okay. I will put this. So this is what I want at the end. And then I'm gonna go to my toolbox, data view. This data view is gonna have the country from my LinkedIn, the country here, okay, and contents fill in no. And then this one will have, what can we take? Maybe a list view. In that list view, I'm going to have association from my country, the connection, okay. I can fill that all in. I will just take the full name, and then I have that. What I also can do is here close button, close page button, and then I'm gonna have that, but I actually want to do here database, so I can also have my search here, search on, and then I can do full name, okay, sort order, I can also sort by full name, okay. And this is where I want to get to. So this needs to be opened by NanoFlow or MicroFlow, which opens the connection, filtered by country, show, okay. So what does that mean? This page needs a country, and I have to get that country from somewhere. So first I'm gonna delete this, and the country is gonna come from the click when I do it on the any chart. So when I click on any chart and I go on events, so there's an event entity and event data attribute, and then I on-click MicroFlow or NanoFlow. So it needs an event entity. What we're gonna do is we're gonna create an own one, a new event entity. We go in here, we go there, we say event, we say non-persistable, and then okay. And then it needed also some data here, which is gonna fill in. So let's go back to the any chart, to events. We say take the event entity, take the data attribute, and then let's try to kick it with here with this one, open then the page. So what is the problem here? Nano should have type event. So this one now needs a parameter which is of object type event, okay. And now this event will come with the data, and let's check first what that data looks like, and then we're gonna continue. So let me run. So I will here quickly do a breakpoint, so I can check later how that event looks like. So let me go on the world map. Once that's open, do I have a debugger? No. So I click on Germany, and then now this event is triggered. I see here in the data, this is a list of JSON it gets, and here is the Germany. That's what I need. So I have to somehow get to this text or the location, depends on how I want. I will take this one, and then I will create again, I will now create an import mapping. First I need the JSON structure, JSON event data, for example, and then I'm gonna put that one in here, make refresh, make okay, and then this one needs also an import mapping. This time we want to import a JSON of event data. So what you're gonna say is you're gonna get this event data, and from here, I mean, we can just take the location, that should be sufficient. And I think we also just get one object. So I click on OK, then this JSON object location, where to put that. We can go to our connector. We could actually take the event, the same entity, and just make here location, make okay, go back to the import mapping, take that event in here, and then map it to location, and say okay. And then actually how we can call it is event helper is maybe better. Oh, forget the R here. R, okay. Perfect. So then we go here, event helper location. So when we go in here and then say here import from JSON, my event helper there, it doesn't take. So what I have to do is my event helper has, I have to create a variable, a string variable. That string variable is from my event helper. Oops, event helper, the data. So I will call it event data, and that event data I will send to my import mapping. It will then map it and then bring me, I will take the first variable, the event helper. So I call this new event helper, okay, and that one has then my location. I can then go to retrieve a country, the first country from thing, so country from the database. I go in here and say where my country name is equal the new event helper, and then the location. Can close this. Oops. So perfect. And I'm gonna get that country, and now I can go here and say, okay, this page is expecting a country. I have my country now be like this. Okay, what is your problem? Event data the action is not supported in microflows. True, this is not supported in a microflow, so we quickly create a sub microflow. At sub event helper get maybe, and then what we can do is we take this one and copy it in here, put it in here, and actually what we could do here is, so this is expecting the event data, so string event data, and what we can do here, actually we could just send back the location, new event helper location, update type to string, okay, and then we could call this location get, and then what we do is here we get the location from the event data. Oops, from the event data, okay, can call this location, and then here we just take the location. Oops. Okay, perfect. Then we have it like that, and then this will open that page with the country and the full name. And I would say let's clean up here this folder. We can call this event helper, and then we can put these things in here, and we can also have a folder connections, and then click put it in here. We can do different kind of folders, but what I would do is I would actually rather save this connections part and delete that folder, and then I go in here, make folder nanoflows, make a folder microflows, make a folder structures and mappings, and then move this to nanoflows, this to structures and mappings, then this one to microflows, and then we're gonna have the pages. Then we take this and here. So perfect. Now let's see if that is all working. Close all, save, and then go to console, clear this, and rerun. And let's see what's happening. Okay, perfect. Let's go to our home page, reload this world map. Loads a little bit. And then as you can see, when I now click in here, what happens? Here that page is opening, and I have here the list of my contacts from Germany. We can clean up here a little bit, and then we're actually already done. So let's go to the world map view. Let's go in here. Open this. So layout options, configuration, appearance. We can maybe change this to 50. Then what we also can do is turn the mode to production. Click on OK. And then also one little thing, when we open this pop-up, I can override this page connections from, and then have here a parameter. So this one, and then I have here the country, country name. Okay. Go to that page, and then we're actually more or less done. Or what means more or less, we're done. Nice, here we have it. I click here, connections from Germany, much nicer to read. And then also here, Saudi Arabia, then Nigeria, United Kingdom, and so on and so on. I hope you enjoyed the session. It was very nice for me. And I'm planning an upcoming course about Mendix development and consultancy training. So please don't forget to subscribe, and you will soon receive more updates and more content around Mendix development. Cheers.